Hi traders and welcome to the daily recap show for Thursday the 3rd of February. We had a big news day today. We had the Bank of England rate announcement at 12 p.m. We also had the ECB at 12:45 with the press conference at 1:30. So you can often see price sort of consolidate ahead of those announcements, and then if there's something a little bit unexpected, you can often see some spikes and some erratic price action around those announcements. So with the FTSE, I did actually suggest that it might be best to not trade the FTSE today. We said that 75, 26 to 36 could act as support, but we had better areas lower down. So let's go and have a look at what's happened with the FTSE so far today anyway. Okay, so as you can see, actually the zones have actually really worked quite well today, but there's not been any hugely great opportunities. We opened up and we held this 7600 zone as resistance. We oscillated a little bit down, we then got the push down through it, pull back. We did get a bit of a continuation pattern here, which would have probably failed, would have lost. We then got this really nice impulsive push down there, right on the numbers. We then got a bit of a false break pattern here before moving down. So there's a few very mixed signals, as you would expect when these sort of big news announcements come out. So although the zones have actually worked really well, I think it would have been I still think it's a good day to sort of leave the markets alone. We have come down. We are now testing this 75, 26 to 36 zone, which at the moment is holding us support, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. I'm doing this report a little bit early today, again before the end of the session, so we will have to wait and see what happens for the rest of the session, and then in the US session, see where we are in the morning on the FTSE. So let's go and take a look at the DAX as well. Okay, so on the DAX, we said that we had the ECB announcement as well. We didn't necessarily advise not trading the DAX today. Reason being the difference between the FTSE and the DAX. The FTSE is at the moment very, very choppy, as we've been speaking about. So it's a little bit more difficult to establish really clean areas for trade placements. The DAX is a little bit different. There's a few more cleaner areas for trade placements, a little bit easier to read the price action, and therefore it may still offer some opportunities, but we still had to be aware of those news announcements. So we said that if we held below 605 to 620 and gained acceptance below 515 to 535, then we could see moves towards higher time frame support at 340 to 360. So let's go and have a look and see what the DAX has done today. So as you can see, we actually pushed up on the open and we just tagged this 605 to 620 zone, and then we got this really strong impulsive push back down. We then, as we've mentioned this a couple of days ago, about if you see this sort of false break pattern and then you start holding below the breakout area, which in this case was the overnight high, then that can actually suggest that that can confirm the false break pattern and then show some weakness, or if it was the other way around, it would show some strength. So this false break pattern, and then the fact that it started holding the overnight highs, that suggested that we could potentially move lower. So we moved lower, and we got a really nice pattern here actually, which could have been traded. We then moved down into this 515 to 535 zone that we wanted to break to see further downside, but it held it as support, and as you can see, it was very consolidatory right the way up through the Bank of England announcement, through the ECB rate announcement. But as soon as the ECB press conference started around 1:30, we got this really strong impulsive push down through that level. So we've gained acceptance below that 515 to 535 now, and you can see we're moving on down quite nicely towards the target. The downside target would initially be this 340 to 360 area. So if you have got into a trade, or you were looking to get into a trade from this, I would certainly look to be risk managing this now. You wouldn't want a trade if you're short from either this zone or this zone. You really wouldn't want to let that trade go negative now as we're moving down towards that target. So you can have your full targets down here, but I'd certainly be looking to risk manage. Make sure those trades are risk free if you're in a trade from one of those zones. As per the analysis this morning, the breakdown from 515 to 535, which happened after the on the back of the ECB press conference, you'd want to be making those trades risk free. So yeah. Apologies, this is a little bit of an early recap. Again, I've got plans for tonight, so I'm unable to do a recap later, but I wanted to get something out there. Analysis was good on the DAX today. As I say, there was some opportunities, and the zones were reacted very cleanly on the FTSE today, but I still think it was the right move to avoid trading it today. So, hope you found this useful, guys, and I will speak to you again tomorrow. Cheers.